everybody, it's your old pal Jesse, and welcome back to another edition of Gen X Thinks. Today we're going to talk about the 3 things that Gen X does better than everybody else. Hands down, been scientific studies, I think. Before we get into that, if you'd like to support the channel by buying me a cup of coffee, I'll leave the link down in the description. Thank you in advance, I really appreciate it. The 3 things that Gen X does better than anybody else. Number 3, we drive better than everybody else. Going down the road, I drive every day for work. Like half of what I do is driving. I'm constantly on the road. I'm either trapped behind some 80-year-old, both man and woman, doing this, going about 25 and a 45 with their blinker on constantly, and traffic coming the other way, so I can't pass, and I can see the light up ahead changing from green to red and green to red. Either that or I'm getting cut off by some young person because they were in the wrong lane at the time, didn't have enough foresight to get into the correct lane a minute ago. So they're gonna cut me off and make me miss the light. So I've got to sit there through the red light while they shoot through the yellow light. And I experience this stuff day in and day out. And it's almost always someone really old or someone young. Barely ever do I have problems with middle-aged people on the road. Maybe that's luck of the draw, but in my personal experience, that's the way it is. Gen X just drives better than anybody else. We're more courteous, we're more respectful, we have enough common sense to get in the lane we need to be in before we need to be in it, and we still have enough faculties and enough reflexes and stuff where we can go 45 in a 45. And we're technologically savvy enough to use Google Maps. Number 2, the second thing Gen X does better than anyone else, hands down, bar none, end of story, would be nonverbal communication. And if you think about it, have you ever seen any black and white pictures of this? Any of that stuff? Never. Never seen any of that from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, none of that stuff. That was us. They had one in the 60s. The hippies had the peace sign. That was their big thing. And I don't really see much after that online or anything. We invented the hand sign, the nonverbal. We all know what each one of those mean. And the best one of all, and is classically ours as well, we own it, is the eye roll. We can cut a person to their core with an eye roll. Some young person sitting there trying to explain to us about how the environment is just so important and it's such an emergency, and their big soft heart is just swollen with all of these feelings for the earth and its inhabitants, and how important it is for them to get carbon neutral, and how their therapist is helping them with medication and whatever. Their psychiatrist is medicating them, and their therapist is talking to them and helping them come to grips with this existential threat. And they just really, really, really need to. And in between the second and the third really, you hit them with the eye roll. Then they really get worked up. I can't believe you're acting this way. What's wrong with you? I don't understand. Well, I've been through 43 of these apocalypses, these existential threats, these global emergencies. We had these emergencies 50 years ago, and it turns out they're not actually emergencies. If you don't think about them, they go away. But you just can't be that way. You just can't. And that's when you hit them with the eye roll as you walk away. Yeah, we can. Gen X can devastate people with their eyes, with nonverbal communications. We could say more with our eyes than they can with their mouths. And that's just the truth. Shoot their entire argument down, make pretty much say that everything that they have said up to that point is completely meaningless. Doesn't matter. We don't care. All of those things balled up into one eye roll. Even if we were all pirates with one eye, we could do it with one eye. Yeah, what most people can't even do with two eyes. Number one, party. And y'all know what I'm talking about. We are the party generation. Now, we might not party like we used to. I understand that. We're older and wiser. But I look at the movies and film of stuff that happened before us, the hippies in the vans smoking whatever and, dropping whatever. Everything was groovy and mellow, and you weren't supposed to mess up the mellow. You weren't supposed to upset the flow or whatever, how they used to party back then. Then came us. Ah! Yeah! With mosh pits and jumping off of roofs into swimming pools. Yeah, we know how to party. We did it best. And nowadays, I don't know. I don't go to parties, so especially with younger kids, but just if I think about a younger party, it's all got to be online. It's all like a FaceTime or a I don't know, an iChat thing or something, or a Snap something party. They're all in their each individual rooms, across the nation or whatever, in their each individual towns or cities, and they're all online partying, running around, and your screen is just got a list of names. And I feel bad for the guy that gets drunk enough and gets really hammered enough to say something just outlandish and crazy like, hey everybody, I think I might actually be a dude. Maybe my pronouns are he and him. Then his phone would just go off with notifications pinging from people unfollowing him and blocking him and unfriending him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, that's rough and outlandish language now. I might be a guy. These kids, they put a lot on themselves just memorizing all these pronouns. You know what I'm saying? Zer, and all this crazy stuff. Back in the day, we had a rough time, memorizing our characters' stats when we played Dungeons and Dragons. Now we got to remember they have to remember all their friends' pronouns and triggers and twitches and all that. I feel bad for these kids. Nobody parties like Gen X. We invented the party. Getting hammered and jumping off of shit and moshing and stuff, it's not the same in the virtual world. You jump off a virtual building with your avatar. It's not the same. I'll leave you there. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying them as much as I'm enjoying making them. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I really appreciate it. I enjoy reminiscing and sharing our thoughts with each other in the comment section. So please keep that up. I'm having a blast. I hope you're enjoying it as well. Stay frosty, Gen X. And once again, I'll see you on the next one.